That white done ones look nice. But what's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on, everybody? It's your boy D. It's Brian. We're back at it again with another live stream.
Yep. And it's Friday.
It's Friday, Friday,
Uh,
Friday. Ugh.
we are live.
Try to get Mark on, but of course he don't answer his phone. He's probably still dealing with a power outage.
How we doing, Cheryl?
How's it going?
Man, we got 2 watching, it says.
Yeah, 1 from Rumble and 2 from YouTube.
There you go. Now, do we do pretty good on Rumble?
If I could double check right now, because we're also streaming on Twitch as well.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we're
That's
streaming on.
right. I see it. I see it.
So right now, we really do good. We're sitting at like 60, 70. Actually, we sit at like 50, 60 views on Rumble. If not, some of them are 70, sitting in like the high 70s for
Nice.
views.
Nice.
Mr. Intense
Mr.
says sloppy
Intense.
seconds. You
We're going to
sick
give it
man.
to you, sir. We're going to give it to you.
You sick man.
Hey, the haircut looks good, dude.
Oh yeah, thank
Yep.
you.
You look like a new person.
You know, I had to take an inch off the top of my hair. I'm like, listen, I see split ends. You know, it's not looking good.
Yep. You start catching the split ends, it's all over. One split end leads to another.
Oh yeah, you're literally not wrong about that.
Me, I was thinking about using a little hair coloring, but I'll let it go, I look more distinguished.
Oh yeah.
So how's Mr. Intense doing today?
Yes. How's everybody doing? And as you see, Brian and I just made a comment on Twitch.
Let's see. Can I read the comments on Twitch? Let's see what we got here.
Just know for everybody that.
Yeah, I see.
Thank you, Mr. Tense.
He's always been a grown up. It was just the split ends that were covering his face.
Oh yeah, split ends, hair coming out the sides, making me look like a caveman.
I did that a month and a half ago, if you remember. My hair was getting a little shaggy, so I had to go get a hairdo. And what I was doing is I was waiting for this scalp treatment stuff to take an effect and, go get a haircut after that. And I'm finally glad I did. Okay,
Toodle Pants, how are you doing? Jesus, feels like we're like ST in his cast on Tuesday. We're missing a third person.
Yep. Okay, we got Stevie Marquez in. That's good. And he's blaming you.
Motherfucking Marquez. Jesus Christ.
Stevie's blaming you.
What did I do, Stevie? God damn it.
They said you did something right. You got some lighting on your face.
Jesus Christ, Stevie. Oh shit.
Are you streaming from the PC?
I'm streaming from my Mac.
That works.
Yeah, cause I got my Mac that I use to stream every day, and then I got my godmother's Mac, which she uses. How you doing, Stevie?
I always liked the Macs. I had a MacBook Pro for like 14 years. It finally gave out.
Yeah, that's what I'm using. I'm using a MacBook Pro, but the good thing is, it has that touch bar on the top.
See, I almost bought one of those.
But only thing I don't like about it is I could barely travel with it because when I'm coming here or when I'm traveling someplace else, it's too. How do I put it without sound like I'm talking about sexual stuff? It's too bulky in a
Yeah,
way because of the fact that it is. It is a 13-inch
yeah,
MacBook Pro, and when I shove that in my bag, because I have a Nike bag. Okay, it's
right.
small as hell. And when I put it in my bag, you could see the corners of the computer. It's like, Jesus Christ, I need a smaller, more compact computer. So I'm trying to talk to my father about getting a new one.
You,
So
you know what? You know what to do is get a MacBook Air.
that's what I
Those
was
are
looking at.
nice. Yeah,
I found one on Amazon with the Intel chip. However, my father found one on Apple's thing with the M2 chip,
yeah,
which it's on Apple's thing where, like I was trying to explain to my godmother and my father, you're basically paying for the Apple name just by spending all that money. Whereas on Amazon, you're just paying for the product itself.
yeah.
And I'd rather pay for the product itself and spend less money
Right.
instead of spending money on something that has to do with the company name.
How we doing, Brett Whitney?
Brett Whitney, you
Good to
sexy
see you.
son of a bitch. Cheers.
Yep.
And no, it's not alcohol. It's coffee.
Me, I've got water. Got water in my silicone cup. You can squeeze this thing like you wouldn't believe. Never break it.
Ugh. You know, I know I'm a moderator for Stevie and everything. But let's get to buffets. Brian, why don't you start it off, good sir?
Alrighty. As usual, I think it's the pot of the year, the Dot Mod Dot Pod Max. This baby's just fantastic. You got
Right.
2,000 mAh battery. I'm still operating on the same cartridge there, and that's been over a month. So you can't beat it. Very, very good flavor. To follow that up, of course, I've got my die codes Danny Box 21700 with a K Fun 25 on top. In that, I've got a very, very special juice I've been trying on. It's a little bit of licorice, strawberry, and raspberry mixed together. And it's
Ooh.
really, really, really good. And I'm going to follow that up with the UL Crown X Pod.
Ooh.
I'll tell you what, I get about a 3 solid week usage out of the coils on the UL. They do a good job on the coils. The flavor is bang on until you get
Right.
to that one day you take a hit and it's going to taste burnt. And
Right.
for whatever reason, that's when you got to change it. But other than that, that's about all I've got. And I'm waiting on my magnets that I ordered because I 3D printed some new panels for the Pulse AIO V2, and that's
Yeah.
on my new 3D printer with my Creality K1C, which
Yeah.
does carbon fiber filaments, all
From the
the other
front,
filaments out
from the
there.
front when you were showing it like this, it looks like a billet box because of the color
Yeah.
match.
So I designed these without those little air holes in the front, and I figure you don't really need those little tiny air holes. So this will be the plate that goes
Right.
over the thing. And I'll tell you, that 3D printer, man, it does one hell of a good job. It's
Right.
down to the thing, and I put 3 by 2 millimeter magnets in instead of those long ones that you can't
Yeah.
find anywhere in the market from Vandy Vape. So I got a order of 100 magnets coming in. So once I get that, I'm gonna super glue them in, and I got it. So Dylan, what are you vaping on today?
Billet box, Wicked Alpha, and I know I'm Stevie's moderator, and I wanted to be able to directly vape on his juice alone. But today, figured I'd pull out Pirates Mutiny's bourbon barrel
Oh,
bourbon barrel aged vanilla custard.
that looks good.
It tastes good, and you know what? I've been trying to mix it with like different flavored creamers, but it somewhat pairs well with a peppermint mocha creamer inside
Oh, that
coffee.
actually sounds really good.
It actually pairs well with that, surprisingly. And I know since Stevie's a juice maker, he's in Chase. He's like, that doesn't sound like a good combination. With and so is bread, but to be honest with you, it really the vanilla custard aspect plus mocha flavoring,
Yeah.
it actually tastes pretty fucking fire.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Especially when you mix in the peppermint aspect too. Perfect.
Well, it's like the one I whipped up, and I've got licorice in it with the raspberry and strawberry together with a little bit of cream,
Right.
and that's just a fantastic taste. And
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't think it was going to taste that good, but it really does.
He said try to pair it with Brett says try to pair it with mint plum bacon.
There you go.
I don't know about the bacon aspect, but the mint plum that would sound pretty good.
I just ordered some plum flavoring. I want to try it out because it just seems like it would taste good, you know?
Right. You know, even when Brett sent me a bottle of the strawberry pop rocks that he makes,
Yeah,
I paired that with a good French vanilla coffee, or even just straight black coffee. The
yeah,
strawberry aspect from it mixed with the coffee kind of reminds me of a good morning breakfast.
yeah.
So that's perfect right there too.
Well, it's like out on ELR, I created one Loca Mocha Java.
Yes,
It
even
tastes
like the
just like a monster coffee drink where they got the mocha in it, and it's identical. So
even
if you like that monster taste for the coffee,
yeah,
go look on ELR Loca Mocha Java.
it's
And
even like the peanut butter banana one that you made me. That the coconut aspect brings everything out too.
oh yeah,
And
yeah,
I didn't think I would like coconut, but when Brett sent my father a bottle of a flavor a juice with coconut in it, plus the one
right.
that you sent me,
Yep.
it brings everything out perfectly. The bacon comment was a joke. Didn't catch on until now. Didn't catch on until now.
Hey, I tasted a couple of years back. I got a couple of buddies that got me started on DIY, right? They're close
Right.
friends. I've known them for years. They did one that was pizza flavored.
That sounds weird.
It was the most disgusting thing in the world that you could do, but it actually tasted like pizza. No, it's not
it's like
something you would just take a couple of hits and say, oh, okay, I've had enough.
since we're on the topic of food and since Brett mentioned the bacon, it's like when Zample Box. It's like
Yeah,
when they were big and they were sending shit to like Bogan, Twisted 420, and so on and so forth. I remember one year Twisted 420. I used to watch Twisted 420 every single day whenever he
yeah,
posted. He did a review on the Zample Box. They posted a bacon flavor. He posted a
oh
one
yeah.
with he posted a box with bacon flavor in it. He tried it. I thought this man was gonna die just from fucking vaping the bacon. He started coughing so much. I'm like, Jesus Christ. On top of that, this man literally posted a video of a vibrating dildo, a vibrating vape dildo. I'm like, Jesus Christ. He's like, gee, now this for a woman's pleasure. You can vape it, and you can have pleasure with your wife or your girlfriend with it. I'm like, oh fuck sakes.
What I want to try next, I want to mix some white chocolate with raspberry
Ooh,
and use a little bit of cream in there too. I want to see how that will it tastes pretty good, I guess. But I did a Mounds candy bar one on ELR. Just look
you were
for
talking
Mounds
about that.
candy bar, and it
Um,
turned out really good. Oh, Cheryl says taco and black bean. Ooh.
would be good. Oh God. My godmother and I just went to this place that does brunch, breakfast, and lunch. Um, she got a bagel with some type of cream cheese on it. I got this amazing like chicken platter, which is like some very spicy chicken
Yeah.
with yellow rice and a salad. that shit hit the spot.
Cheryl's got a good idea too. Dark chocolate and raspberry. That would be good.
That would.
Even like dark chocolate and caramel, that would be like a Cadbury
Or
candy bar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or dark chocolate and peanut butter.
Ah, that would work too.
Basically like a
That would
dark
work.
chocolate flavored Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah. Well, it's like a lot of people like Six Pack Kid. Yeah, baby. How we doing, Nick?
Oh Jesus Christ, he's wide awake.
I know a lot of people like cheesecake ones. I do too.
Yes.
But you get tired of everybody just doing cheesecake mixes, It's like you can
Yeah,
only
I
do
love
so
cheesecake.
many of those.
Stevie Marquez makes a phenomenal cheesecake. I've told
Yeah.
him, as you know from the last stream you and I did with Mark. I told Mark, I said, dude, why don't you try this? He's like, what flavor is it? I said, it's a vanilla cheesecake, and it's really good because with the way he was telling me, he said Angela likes the the fruity juices and things like that.
Yeah.
He's more so of a dessert kind of person.
Yeah.
As I'm trying to invite Nick
There's
onto the
Vaping Vic. How we doing, sir?
as I was trying to invite Nick onto the show, but I keep posting the wrong link.
Yeah, we can use you on the show. We'll get Vic on here and Six Pack if he wants to come on. But yeah, that vanilla cheesecake sounds really good though.
Oh yeah, you could taste like the crust from the cheesecake. You could
Yeah.
you could taste it all, and it's
Yep.
literally one of the best dessert flavors that I've actually tried. And when Stevie was also doing testing for like new flavors that he just posted on the list,
Yeah. Hmm.
one of my favorite flavors that he just released, and I was talking to I think Mark and Nick about it, was one called Mojo Jojo. It's a Dubai chocolate.
Oh yeah, I seen that being floated around there on the expo things and stuff.
Yeah,
It
that
sounds good.
Dubai chocolate is very, very amazing.
Oh yeah, Vic's going with Savage in another 40 minutes. That's cool. That's cool.
Nick, I sent you the link to come on Facebook.
Yep. Yeah, one of these days I might join up with Vic and Savage 62
Yeah,
if
I
they'd
got.
have me on, and we'll just have a little threesome going.
Yeah,
That'd
be careful
be kind
that
of
big
cool.
might. Hey, be careful that big might blow smoke up your ass with that mech mod.
Ooh.
Big knows I love him.
Six Pack, he's about ready to go to bed. He's been up since 2 p.m. Oh, yesterday. Ouch.
Damn.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. That's pretty tough. Uh, yeah, sleep well, Nick. Sleep well, man.
Yeah, you might want to head to bed. Well, thank you for that compliment, Vic. Saying, "Hey, but a cupcake, better lighting today." Yes, that's because I'm at my office in New Jersey. He says he's gonna blow smoke up your ass with the mech model without ointment, without lube.
Yeah, no, that ain't right. uh,
Oh
that's
Lord.
why, hey, Vic, that's why I always carry a spare bottle of VG in the bedroom and the nightstand. Just in
Hey.
case, just in case some young lady comes in and says, need a little lube.
Oh Jesus.
uh, gotta have the ointment, man.
Oh Jesus, that was funny. That caught me off guard completely. Yes, Nick. Sweet, sweet dreams.
Yeah, get yourself some solid rest, Nick. You
Yeah.
need it, man. You don't want to go too long without sleep.
Fucking Bick, I swear, bro. I said hot to a spit on that day. Speaking of that, Bick, I saw your review on that juice. How is it? Cause I know you, like I said, I know you did the review. You did it in like 2 parts. I know Fagan. I'm sorry,
I
go
was
ahead.
supposed to get some free Aromaxy juice from over in the UK, and I was promised, and it's like 5 weeks. They didn't even answer the emails. I was
Jeez.
supposed to get it in a nice little case and stuff like that. I said, the heck would I give up? Save the shipping. I got enough juice.
Oh yeah. I still got enough juice that'll last me a while.
Cheryl's getting into it. Slip it in nice and easy.
Ooh, this Sunday Big just said he's having vaping Bogan on.
Oh yeah. That's going to be a good show. That's going to be a real good show. Anybody in the audience, check it out on Sunday morning.
Yes, go subscribe
Vaping
to
Bick,
Vaping Big.
Vape Rendezvous with Mr. Bogan. He'll be on Sunday.
I know Bogan was on Devin's show, I think, a few months ago, back in like November.
Well, Cheryl's really got it there. Let her ride you like a horse. You mean like ride the white pony?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That reminds me of an old joke about a young couple that gets married and the girl's got epilepsy. We'll go into that at a later date.
Oh, that was kind of fucked up, too.
There you go.
And I know Mark is going to come on any second. Like, is this a vape show? Sorry, Mark, before you even comment, is this a vape show? The answer is no, because apparently it just got turned into a sex show.
Hey, 6-pack kid, and did a little side hustle there, it looks like. Cleaned the interior, exterior, and waxed the car right after work. They paid me $200 to do it, $50 an hour. You can't beat that.
Butter Squad, is everything go for the show tonight? I don't know. Devin hasn't said anything to me about a show for tonight. I asked him yesterday or
I don't
whenever
think
we
he's
got.
ready with his new PC yet, is he?
I don't know because I know he has a gaming PC, and he doesn't want to do streams on that. He just wants to do gaming content with that.
Yeah.
So, but I don't even know if there's a show tonight.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
So, Brett, after Brian and I get done with this, I'll give you and Devin a call just to see what the hell's going on.
Yeah. One way or the other. If he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it, If
I
he
mean,
does, all the better.
Mr. Ted says pegging.
Yeah, I'm with 6-pack kid this week. I did a little side hustle too.
Yeah.
I made 3 beans for sitting on my butt for 3 hours at a keyboard.
Vaping Big wants to know from me, you ever fantasize about doing a midget? Big, I could have sworn you were a midget.
Hey, midget sex, man. You can't beat that.
Hold on, when did my channel go from a vape talk show or a podcast to a freaking sex podcast? It took a big left.
Hey, midgets are people too, and they have sexual needs just like the rest of us.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
as when you start picturing it, you got a 6-foot tall guy and you got the midget girl. That's a sit and spin situation there.
No, Jesus.
Hey, you invited me on. You're going to get the jokes. Oh, it's Friday. You
I
got to
don't.
cut loose,
Daryl, to answer your question, I don't want to know. That's the thing. It's just crazy, bro.
Yep. Yeah, the whole midget thing. You know, a lot of people make fun of small people, but you know,
Yeah,
they're people too. You know, they just have the
yeah.
same needs we do.
Like I keep telling people, no matter the skin color, no matter the accent,
Right.
we're all born the same way. We all
Yep.
die the same way. Whether it's cancer, natural causes,
Right.
stab shot, whatever. We all die the same. We all bleed the same way. At the end,
Exactly.
at the end of the day, we're all, like you just said, we're all human beings. At the end of the day,
Exactly.
even we all lie. We all tell the truth. We do it all. Brett, please, no pictures, please.
Use the midget as a flashlight.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Uh, hey, I've seen some girls out there that I just wouldn't mind wearing as a necktie. You know.
And Nick, I thought you were supposed to be going to bed, good sir.
Vaping Vic called it. We all bleed the same blood. You know, the same color. All,
Exactly.
and it's all pink on the inside.
Exactly.
Yep.
We all have the same internal organs and all.
Well, Cheryl's getting into the heavy duty stuff. We might get censored.
Shit, I might get demonetized before I even get monetized.
Yeah, you're cursed. Get that guy off of there.
And apparently, according to Big, Cheryl has already has a strap on out.
There you go. Hey, I put it this way: if everybody in the world would get together one day, stop all the wars, stop all the killing
Yep,
and the hating, and just have sex for one day, it would be a hell of a world. That's
that's
it.
exactly what it would be.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it still comes to certain people want to play the racial card. They
Yeah.
want to play victim.
Right.
At the end of the day, you know, it's all coming down to the world is just a cruel fucking place.
Oh, it is, and we got a lot of weird people in the world, and that's for sure. And that'll never change, actually.
Look who's in chat, Mr. Devin Griffin.
Devin.
What the hell is going on here? I thought this was a sex education show. No, this is Dylan's version of an AA meeting for himself. To stop being a dumb motherfucker.
Yep.
Does it vibrate and light up? Apparently, I don't know if Vic thinks it lights up or whatever.
I often wondered if you had a dildo that lit up with LED lights, could you see it from outside the body?
I don't even know. They had fucking butt plugs that fucking light up, and you can see it through the fucking pants. Especially when these girls with fat asses wear leggings and shit or fucking jeans, you can still fucking see that bitch from like a fucking mile away.
Well, summertime's here, you know. A lot of guys are going to be out there camel toe hunting, and it's just going to be a free for all one of these days, you know. You're going to see people doing it on the back of the bus and in the bus stops.
As Mr. Ten says, DNA chip equals temperature control.
You got it.
I'm not a big fan of even with diet codes you can do temp control, but
Mr. Intense, we got a Diet Coach chip in here.
I'm not a big fan of temp control at all. I'm not.
I like temp control. I use it from time to time, but I like to use different wires. Like I ordered a little spool of tungsten,
Right.
and you really got to plug that in on a die coach chip. DNA does all right with it, but it's not the best. Die codes is a little bit more geared towards the tungsten wire. And DNA does one hell of a job with stainless steel. I think it does the best out there. Now,
Right.
SX Mini is very close to DNA on the stainless
Right.
because they basically gear all their chips towards stainless, and
You
they
know,
do a pretty
even
decent
when
job.
even Diecast aims towards that I think Ni-Fi or some shit like that, whatever
Oh, the
wire that they give you.
resist therm wire, yeah, the resist therm, but you can only get it in 30 gauge, so it's
That
just
that
one of
that's the
those
only wire that
things,
they give you that's good for apparently according to them, good
Right,
for temperature control.
right. It is. Yeah, I still got two spools of it sitting in the room. It does a great job, but 30 gauge, you're playing with that. So you're in a high ohm resistance. So you're basically only going to use it for mouth to lung, anyways.
Yeah,
But it
but
does
one,
work good.
I've tried the only wires that I've tried was NI80, NI90. I for some reason I want to try stainless steel wire just to see how it vapes.
Yeah.
I want to try Kanthal wire.
No, you don't want to do Canthal.
Um, I know
Canthal is just, it just corrodes and gets all crappy real bad.
somebody was saying they talk about using like the mesh strips,
Yeah.
but I've never had any like atomizers like the Profile RDTA that uses those giant mesh strips.
Well, you can actually go to a hardware store and get stainless steel mesh and trim
Right,
it and use that. So basically, it's the same stuff.
right.
It's conductive.
And Devin, you shut your mouth about Joe Biden. He will suck your King Cobra for fucking $9.99, bitch.
Uh, Nick prefers 60 watts. He's got 60 watts.
Hey, anytime Nick sends me something or I buy something off of Nick, especially when it comes to coils, I
Yeah.
always vape around the same wattage he does, like 36 to 42 watts, because that's what I like. Normally, I'll vape at like occasionally, depending on the day or how well the coil holds up with no hot spots. I'll vape at like 50 something watts.
Yep. Well, it's like the Raga pod that I have in the AIO Pulse AIO V2. It's only at 17 watts, but I'll tell you what, it feels like you're getting a full 25 to 30 watt hit.
Yeah,
So that's pretty good.
but I'm just into the whole now at this point the freaking 36 to 45 watts or
Yeah.
42 watts. But no, and I understand. From talking to Brett about mouth to lung stuff. I understand with certain wires that are at a higher ohmage or resistance, whatever it's called. I understand you need very low wattage for that.
Yeah, well, that's where you want to use 24 gauge stainless steel
Right.
because it'll stay clean long and you can do just round coil wrap. You don't really need anything fancy with that. And you can make your own Clapton coils out of
Hmm.
stainless too. That's not hard to do, but basically, a lot of people think that you need these fancy coils to get great
Right.
flavor. That's not true.
Right.
And
And,
it's just
and here's the
using the
kick.
right coil
Yeah.
material is more important.
And here's the kicker with me though. I've tried Claptons. I've tried regular round wire and shit like that. And I've tried alien coils too.
Yeah,
To me, it also depends on the atomizer as well.
right,
You know, I could put regular round wire or a Clapton or a staggered fuse inside the atomizer in my atomizer that I use on a daily basis, which is the alpha that
right.
I bought from Nick. I don't get
Yeah,
that
you're
same
better off with a regular round.
right. But here's the thing: I don't get that good flavor like I normally do from like an alien coil.
Right.
The coils Nick sent me recently from Johnny Johnson, which is aliens and and NI80 coils from Pendulum. I got amazing flavor off of that. You know,
Yeah, you're going to, yeah.
So that kind of
Because
saved me.
if you look at the alien coil, the way it's wrapped,
Yeah,
that juice gets in there, and that's when you really get that burst of flavor.
yeah,
You know, because if you're gonna do something, use the alien. You know, you got the micro ones for the billet box, and that's a very good coil. If you want to get a good flavor, use the aliens. Now, if you're going to go for big clouds, get yourself some frame staples and put them in the RDA and let it rip.
you
But
know,
you're right, Dylan. On the billet box, your regular round is great because the wattage range you're in,
right.
you're going to get really good flavor from regular round.
And on top of that, they have those space coils too. Space coils like what they did for the vessel. Okay, like
Yeah,
the version one of the vessel. That was complete and utter shit.
right.
Okay, and I could tell it was a spaced round wire coil, but that was completely shit.
Yeah,
And Nick, you're right. The coil prices of coils, including the vape juice
going to
too,
go
that's
up.
all going up
Yep.
because of the tariffs. But here's the thing: since the tariffs and everything, prices, everybody's gonna have to go through the black market and shit like that.
See,
That's
that's what worries me. When you start going through the black market for stuff, you just don't know the quality of what you're going to get.
right. That's why a majority of the people like myself, Nick, and whoever else, we get all our shit through Facebook.
Yeah,
Since you can't, since even if you go through Billabong's website, you know, Straight Fire Vaporium and things like that, half these places won't even sell to specific states.
right,
I can't even. It's to the point where I can't even order a vape juice from my vapor store, Element Vape, because they will not ship to where I'm at.
right. They won't
So,
ship it to you.
so it's like the only place. It's like the only two places I can really order from is Stevie himself
Yeah.
and FDH. And FDH is based out of New York.
Well, you're better off sticking with Stevie Marquez on that because
Yeah.
he's making great juice.
Oh yeah, and especially because I'm
He'll
also
ship it to you.
yeah, and on top of that, I'm also working with Stevie when he comes out with
Yeah,
new flavors and everything too.
right. Well,
Which
look at the stuff I tried to send you. The post office rejected it. They said they wouldn't ship it to your area.
because the
So
re
I had to take it over to the UPS and just print out a label ahead of time, and they took the package no problem.
oh yeah,
But they gave
it's
me a real rough time at the USPS. They said,
it's
"Nope, it contains liquids. Yep, we got a sticker for that. Where's it going? Nope, we're not going to ship it to that zip code."
on top of it, speaking of the juice that you sent me, I did try that key lime cookie that you sent me. That I love that one.
Pretty good, isn't
Yeah, I love
it?
that one.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
But
Vaping Bic's going to be getting into the DIY mixing pretty soon too.
oh yeah,
So that'll be nice to see him getting into it and see what he can offer.
oh yeah.
How we doing, Marcus?
But yeah, like I said, everyone's going through the black market side of shit, which is basically Facebook and whatever
Yeah,
social media platforms
yeah,
there is. I mean, look at Heartbeat Mod for example, or even the Wix company who made the alpha.
right, right,
You can't get any of that except through Facebook, and when there's a drop, Nick purchased the silver one. Oh, the way because
right.
they came out with the silver and a midnight edition. Nick picked up that, and then all of a sudden he was selling some of his stuff. I was like, I gotta get that alpha. Sent it to
Yeah.
me. And then he ended up getting the. I think Nick, didn't you get the midnight version of the alpha right after you sold me the alpha that I have? 'Cause I think he had just gotten it right after he had sold me the alpha, the one that I have. But I do know I've been also wanting some other high end Boro stuff like there's a company that that from a mod that Nick has called the 38 Special.
Yeah.
They have the company BMM has the Borat.
Yeah. Well,
Jesus, Nick.
the Borat's a really, really nice mod. And
Right, but here's the thing with that: you can't get into the group unless you're invited. Then you
yeah,
have to
well,
wait like a whole year to even do the raffles.
I give Charles, the guy that runs, you know, the company itself, I give him a lot of credit because he's a one man show, and that's a lot of work to do.
Oh yeah,
And you got to have your knowledge together upstairs and not make a mistake.
yeah, Nick, because you showed me the stainless steel alpha.
Right.
But there's one mod in particular that Nick has that I really want to get. I don't know if he's still selling it.
Which one?
The Ground Cloud Innovation 7 mod.
That's a nice
That's
one.
a sexy
That's a
mod right there.
real nice mod.
That's one sexy mod. But my pops was like, yeah, I don't think I would pick that up because of the fact of the exposed battery.
Yeah.
I would get it, but because of the dot format, I have to constantly fill up the juice.
Right.
That's the only downside to it. But there's a lot of Burrow stuff that Nick has that I would definitely pick up
Yeah.
and things like that. Even some atomizers that he has that I would really like to pick up and things like that.
Right.
But I would have to also talk to my old man about that.
Well, it takes time and money. You just have to go with the flow, and
Yeah,
you save up a little bit because let's face it, a lot of stuff's not cheap.
it's not.
Yeah, you can run of the mill stuff all month long. You can buy 5 mods if you want, as long as you got the free cash. But
Oh
when you
yeah,
look at some of the higher end stuff, that's when it gets you because you got to save up a little bit.
oh yeah,
And it's like, a lot of people always dicker about what is considered high end.
right.
I mean, that's an ongoing debate that's going to be around forever. Do you consider price to be high end? No. What you have to do is consider the amount of effort that the person producing the product went through. You got to figure the materials in, what's the quality of material, and then the final price.
Oh yeah,
That's what dictates high end.
oh yeah,
And that's why you see a lot of modders like people overseas in Italy. You got Sunbox,
yeah.
and
And
you
that's
got
what Nick was telling me too. It's about the quality
right. It's
of the
all the
product and
quality. And if you look at Strangers mods, Mario over there, he's busting his hump. He's a one man show, and he's using
yep.
a lot of high end equipment just to produce the CNC machining and the final polishing and everything. That's all done by hand, so you're going to pay for it.
Uh, it's even like RJ over at Wick. I think he's a one man show and everything. So he's
Right,
basically trying to come up with prototypes and then the finished product because he's getting all the opinions from everybody
right.
on what he could do better for it.
Well, here's a good case in point too. Stevie Marquez. Look at all the liquids that he produces. Now, it's not junk. I mean, he
Yep,
takes him some time to give a good recipe,
yep,
taste test it, ask others' opinions before he can release that
yep.
flavor. I
And
mean,
I think I was telling him about two of the flavors, the Dubai chocolate one that I mentioned, and
yeah,
I think there was a one that was a Skeletor, which was I think a coconut pie or what which other one it was. I have to check the video he sent me on it, but I do know that one. I think I mentioned the Dubai chocolate and the Skeletor one
right.
should be on the black label, but he ended up keeping it on the regular list of you know flavors.
Well, see, Six Pack Kid just brought up the thing. High end is no clone version, limited quantity run, quality And that's
and
true.
what material is being used. Yep.
Right. That is absolutely true. Now he's got quite a few high end pieces, and he's got
Yep.
to be proud of that because those are works of art,
Oh yeah.
and you're not going to find that anywhere else in the world. You know.
Yeah. Even when they do come out with specific high end pieces, like for example, a mech mod, they'll make two copies of that mech mod that they want
Right.
to make, and that's it. Then it's either you have to buy it from the original person that bought it,
Yeah.
or or you have to wait till another mech mod comes out.
Well, it's like, if you ever checked out Stu's work over in Vape Smarter, he's got some real fantastic stuff, and they're like one of a kinds, and they're dirt cheap. And I would
Right.
recommend anybody that's looking for a good quality mod that's mechanical is go check out Vape Smarter. And Stu's got some good work there. I mean, he busts his hump to do those things, and you can get
Yep.
them for a song. You don't have to pay through the nose. And
Yeah.
he's got some real attractive color mixes on his stuff too.
It's another thing. There's a lot of products that are out that almost every single person has.
Yeah,
You know, like for example, like you and I were talking before the show. Um, Billet box.
right.
Everybody's guaranteed to have a billet box,
Oh yeah,
just depending on the colorway. You know,
right.
for example, like the one I mentioned before the show, the Jawbreaker. Guaranteed, everybody has a Jawbreaker billet box.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody has a pool, however it's pronounced, whether it's PUA or PAU, the
yeah.
Manta. Everybody has one of those. Um, but I don't. I have the Stitch variation of the billet box. I've never seen one person with the Stitch billet box.
Well, Marcus just brought up a good point. He said most high-end RVAs are made in China in one factory. That could very well be true,
Right.
but you gotta remember you can't ding the Chinese for quality purposes because you gotta remember sometimes the Chinese are producing some of the best things in the world.
Right. But at
If
the
you
same
look at the
time,
machining and you look at the polishing on it, they could do some really fantastic work because they have the machinery for that. So
right.
don't blame the Chinese because they can make products
Right. But
faster
here's
and
the thing
bang
with
them
that,
out.
though, Brian. Here's the thing with that. Say a specific product's made in, let's say, for example, Poland,
Right.
right? And they don't go to China to make the products, and it's just specifically made in Poland. China will pick up on that,
Right.
clone that bitch,
Yeah.
and sell it in all the different variations of what the authentic has already been made out to
Well,
be.
well, look at Atmazoo. You're paying for high end prices, but
Uh huh.
that actually is produced in China.
Yep.
Now, the second-hand ones, or the ones that didn't quite meet the specs for polishing and all that,
Right.
they're just being sold as a clone. They're not going to waste material. They're not going to ditch 100,000 units because it's got a small blemish on it and dig a hole in a hillside somewhere and bury it and expect it to just go away. They're going to
Yep.
try to sell that stuff. And you can't blame them. That's costing them money too.
Yeah, like Marcus said, like the Aspire Prestige line.
Well, the Aspire Prestige line was a good line, and I give them a lot of credit because they
Yep.
make great products, but it just never caught on.
Yeah, even like Nick said too. Plaque is Philippines, no Shenzhen.
Yeah. Well, it's like a good case in point. Look at the panels that I produced on my new 3D printer for the Pulse AI OV2. I designed the panels, and I'm using different size magnets than what Vandy Vape used.
Yep.
And this is a solid product, and it looks good. The color
Yep.
green with the black, and I can produce those myself. The same with the billet box. If I want panels for that, I can just bang them out all day long.
Yep. And Devin, only reason why you're saying Mark's flashlights are produced in China, that's because Mark's a dirty old man.
But and another thing that really yanks my chain is you start seeing all these vape regulations just coming across the globe. Now, this is a global problem, and it's not
yeah.
just a conspiracy amongst anti-vapors. You're
Oh,
looking at somebody that just doesn't like vapors. And I think that's the reason why some of the people that were on YouTube as reviewers lost their audience on the memberships because people were complaining they were just anti-vapors.
yep. And Nick said it's pronounced Pelog, Dylan. My apologies.
But if you notice, like, you got Australia, which God love those people in Australia.
Yeah.
They have to put up with people lighting fires at tobacco shops, having to go to a pharmacy to get their nicotine liquids.
Exactly. Right.
It's just pointless,
It's only tobacco or menthol, and not the normal flavors like what you and I are used to, or like what anybody else in chat
Right,
is used
right.
to.
So that's like really being restrictive, although they allow excuse me, they allow cigarette sales,
No, yeah,
which really doesn't make any sense.
exactly.
So if you're allowing
And yet, my
cigarette
thing,
sales and the vape liquid has nicotine in it, who the hell really cares how you're getting your nicotine?
right? But here's the thing: besides with nicotine aside,
Yeah,
they want all those combustible elements that's inside a cigarette to kill
yeah.
everybody. And that's what's so screwed up with the government, with how it is, whether it's the
Right.
Australian government, whether it's the UK government, whether it's the United States government, or even people in China and shit like
Hey,
that.
Devin.
It's just screwed up how all these people just want their citizens to kill themselves based off of just all the combustible elements that's in a cigarette.
Well, I think a big part of that too is it's just total mismanagement.
Yeah, it
I
is.
mean, anybody can run for political office. Whether you're good at it or not, that's a different story.
Oh yeah.
But it comes to a time where you got the law of diminishing return that comes into play. You can only
Yep.
tax people for so long, and they're starting to get a little pissed off. So they said, "The hell with it. We're not going to buy the product anymore."
Oh yeah.
And you start looking at it's an ever growing trend. It just keeps going up and up and up.
Yep.
And you got people on the side of food producers, they're getting greedy. And look at the price of eggs, how they jockeyed them up and down. And it's like, if you go get a 24 pack of beer, you're paying almost $30 now.
Bro, check
It's
this.
ridiculous.
Since we're on the topic of food, check this though. My godmother got a sesame bagel with some weird fucking cream cheese on it. They
Yeah.
charged her like $4 and change just for that bagel. For me,
Oh,
they charged me $13 and change plus tax just on a chicken platter, which is basically chicken, rice,
that
and
doesn't
salad.
make any sense.
In total for that, $19 and change
Yeah.
minus and the woman took off like a fucking 50% discount on the shit. What the fuck is that gonna do? Make it like what, $14 and change?
Still don't make any sense. And it doesn't justify the cost increase.
It don't, and
No. And it never will. What's
but
new,
besides
Devin?
Not a whole lot. What's going on?
going up, Joe.
Same old, same old. Did you get your new PC all squared away yet?
No, not yet. I will
So,
though.
so no show tonight.
I'm not sure yet. I'll
Cause
let
we,
you.
cause we could do it on Rumble like we did that one week. Cause that show went perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another good point too. The UK is getting bombarded with new regulations
Oh yeah.
on vaping. They're getting rid of all the disposables. So what that's going to entail is that disposable market's got to go somewhere. So they're going to either try to flood us in the
Yep.
United States, or they're going to go to Mexico, or they're going to go somewhere in the Middle East.
Yep. And here's the thing with that though, the disposable market is gonna end up going to like Pakistan or something like that.
Yeah.
But every other country, like the UK, in the United States of America, the disposable market is gonna crash for us.
Oh yeah.
Then it's gonna lead to the hobbyist side of things
Right. Right. Right.
coming coming back and everything. And it's gonna be like, okay, we got the hobbyist side back, but now we still gotta deal with the PMTA juice bullshit with the flavoring.
I never understood that. That's just BS. It's like, okay, you had the PMTA process, and what did they get out of it? Just millions of dollars for applicants to come
Yep.
in and say, my product is safe. Well, okay, you've done how much testing on your own factories? You've done so many tests with independent doctors saying it was safe. So what's the problem there? I mean, people should have an alternative pick. You're either going to go buy a 20
Yep.
pack of cigarettes, or you're going to go buy a $20 bottle of e-juice. So you let that person decide on their own. They're grown adults. I mean, granted, you're going to get kids out there going to pick up disposables, because they like that high on the nicotine. But you know what? That all gets back to the parents.
Speaking of disposables, Nick said, Brian, I prefer a disposable fleshlight. I don't want to have to clean it. Also, Nick said, I like the beard.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, though, okay, it all gets back to parenting. If your 13-year-old child, boy or girl, is out there vaping on a disposable that's got 50 milligram nicotine salts,
Right.
whose fault is that? That's the parents' fault.
Right.
That's not the shop owner that they got it from because they asked somebody to walk in, buy something for them, and they passed it to them on the way out of the store at the 7-Eleven. That goes back to the parents.
Right, but even like what Wicked Vapor was telling me, no matter how many times the parent will tell a child no, the child is still gonna go out and fucking do it anyway, regardless if they get told no or whatever.
You're right. That's how I started with cigarettes. I took my uncle's Camels, non-filtered, and he said, "No problem. Here, take a pack." My dad was okay with it. I was 16 years old.
Right.
But that was my choice.
Exactly.
My dad said, "You have a choice whether you want to smoke these things or you don't."
Right.
But I made the choice.
Right, and that's how I was with cigarettes too. I smoked because that was my choice.
Right.
And then I went from cigarettes to vaping, stopped
Right.
vaping, started it up again, and then I also went to smoking pot. That's me.
Don't let Devin lie to you. He still smokes cigarettes just off the side.
Devin, don't you start your shit.
I seen you. You can't lie. I seen you. You told me not to tell nobody, so I exposed your secret.
That was our little secret, you son of a bitch.
So Dylan actually smokes cigarettes, guys.
No, I don't.
Well, here's another issue too. I have nothing against if you want to smoke weed, that's your business.
Right.
People are pushing for legalized recreational weed.
Right.
But look at what damage the weed can do to your lungs versus vaping.
Right.
I mean, weed has got 5 times the amount of tar in one joint than one cigarette. 5 times. Now, do you really want to put that in your body? Probably not. But you made the choice that that's what you want to do.
Right.
And weed is actually considered by all conventions to be a psychoactive drug.
Well, no, but here's the thing with that. As you know, and as some of the people in chat know, back in 2016, 2017, when right after my godmother moved into where she's at now, my father and I got into a car accident.
Right.
I completely fucked up my right shoulder. My right shoulder hasn't been the same at all. Haven't gotten it checked out until beginning of, I think, of 22 or 23. Back in 2020, I fucked up my right knee working at Amazon.
Right. Right.
I got it checked out a year or two later. Did physical therapy in 22.
Right.
Going into 23, and occasionally because whether it's the weather or depending on the day,
Yeah.
my shoulder and my knee will be fucked up and in a lot of pain. So when I smoke the weed, all the pain goes away.
Yeah.
So that's and yeah, I'll smoke a recreational. That's because it literally helps with the pain and everything. I can't make this shit up.
But that's your choice to do so.
Yep.
Okay, you're an adult. You made that choice to do what you want to do.
Exactly.
But you don't need that forced upon you on your decision from the
Right.
federal government, the state government, or a local government.
No,
You're
this
your own boss and you have a mind that you make your choice and it's an informed choice.
Exactly. And then their response is,
Right.
"Oh, if you're gonna smoke recreational, you're gonna get arrested. Oh, this, oh that." But here's the thing: if you were gonna arrest me, then the New York government wouldn't have fucking legalized it in the fucking first place.
Right. Right. So it's to the point where it's not nearly, well, put it this way, it's a recreational drug that can be
Yep.
used safely. Unlike heroin, unlike fentanyl, and what do they call it, xylazine now, or whatever it is, it's people
Some
dying
shit.
from it. And
Yeah.
it's a zombie drug for them, I mean, you got to use your own mentality, decide on what you want in life. I mean, if you choose to sit down and drink a whole case of beer, that's your choice.
Yeah.
Now, if
Exactly.
you continue to do that, then I would say you got a drinking problem. But if you continue to smoke, weed all day long, I'd say you got a weed problem.
Yeah. That's me.
You have to balance out your responsibilities with your recreation. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah, you see, I could smoke weed all day. Will I get extremely high?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but I don't smoke the indica, which will put you in the fucking couch to the point where you want to
right,
sleep.
right,
I smoke the indica, which makes me like very energetic to want to go do shit. Now, if
right,
I want to go to bed or whatever, depending at night, then okay, yeah, I'll smoke the indica
right,
to help
right.
me sleep. But other than that, I smoke straight sativa or hybrid, whatever, depending on the mood. But but mainly, I'll just sit there and just vape. As Devin tried joking with me before, vaping is bad for you.
Well, that gets all back to you're making an informed decision on your own as a grown adult. You know the consequences of the way you're going to feel after the fact.
Yep.
But you're your own boss, your own responsibility.
Yep.
Nobody's responsible for you but you. So
Ex-
if you make that choice, you made the choice.
exactly.
But you're not out hurting anybody. That's the
Exactly.
thing, You're not causing anybody harm. You're not causing trouble. You're not getting arrested. You're not in a gunfight on the street. You're just a normal, everyday human being.
Oh yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't like, my personal thoughts are I don't like the crusaders out there.
Right.
You get the crusaders and they don't want you to do this, you don't want you to do that. But It's like you're not hurting them.
Exactly. And and that's the thing I try to make to a lot of people. I as long as I'm not out hurting anybody, I'm not out
Right.
doing something stupid like stealing whatever the case may be. At least I'm not getting arrested, and I'm
Right.
home doing everything, like smoking whatever, and I'm still able to get everything done in the process.
Yeah.
Then who cares?
Exactly.
Or even if I'm hanging out with friends, for that matter, when I got free time, then okay, there's no problem. I'm hanging out with a friend at their house or at the park, just minding my business.
Yeah.
And that's just it.
Well, that's the biggest thing. The biggest problem with this world that we live in right now is everybody wants to be a chief, but
Yep.
nobody wants to be an Indian. You
Yeah.
know,
Here's the thing with that. They want to say they want to do all these things, but they're not following it up with actions.
right, right.
And like that old saying goes, and Brian, I'm pretty sure you heard this when you were mine and Devin's age, if not younger. Actions speak louder than words.
Precisely, precisely. And that's where today's day and age, 99% of the politicians fail to understand they need to be held accountable for something. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't do your job right, you're going to get voted out.
Oh yeah.
You know, one way or the other, you're going to leave office. Yeah, you got a cushy job when you came from a $50,000 a year job to a $160,000 a year job. So perform, do something.
Oh yeah.
I
You
mean,
know.
it's like our government was founded on freedom, but we seem to
Right.
be stepping back into that serfdom days, where you
Right.
were part of a kingdom. It doesn't work that way.
Exactly. It's not even just that. It's just the country as a whole,
Yeah.
government, society, the civilians. As a whole unit. Instead of moving forward as a unit, we're taking like a million steps back
Oh, yeah. It's getting worse, too.
because of all the shit that's going on. Riots, protests.
Yep.
Just all the stupid shit that's just going on. It's like, okay, somebody just literally needs to say this to everybody as a unit. Just sit down and shut the fuck up. Let's move forward.
Yep.
Because we can't. Then we're still gonna be a laughing stock. And I hate to say this for all the people who are Democrats and shit like that. You know, when Joe Biden, when Joe Biden and almost every other Democrat up to Reagan was in office, and I'm excluding Reagan in this, but every other Democrat that was in office, even some of the Republicans were in office, they didn't do shit. We never moved fucking forward. The
Right.
only time we moved forward was when Trump was in office the first time around. And
Well,
yet
I wouldn't say we were moving forward. We were just moving in a different direction we weren't going before.
right, and
And,
and that
people
that
didn't
was
know how to take that.
right, and that was and we were still in a way we were still moving somewhat forward. Look at all these different countries that actually feared us
Yeah.
again since we were moving in a different direction and everything.
Well, another thing too, and nothing against Mr. Trump, but was he guilty of stealing classified information? Absolutely. Was he guilty of padding his wallet with the tax dodge? Absolutely. But you know what? He's not the only one that's been doing that.
Right, you even got Hillary Clinton that's been sending out fucking
Yeah.
emails and shit like that and trying to
Right.
better.
Yeah. So, stop with the political BS and fighting with amongst two parties. Try to get together and come up with some ideas that are going to benefit the people as a whole
You
instead of
know,
this bullshit that they're doing now.
this is why I always tell Wicked Vape I want him as president, JT Von Base as vice president,
There
and at least me and
you
Devin
go.
in the party along the
Yeah.
lines. I told Jim, I said, listen, if you were president right now, I'll be the court jester.
See, Devin is
Fucking
moving to
Nathan
Romania.
to be with his baby mama.
Nathan, you better go feed your kangaroos.
Hey, you better not send it to the New York or New Jersey office.
Now, I can't imagine going up and fighting a kangaroo. Kangaroo would kick anybody's butt.
Hey, listen, if I was high and or drunk, I would probably fight a kangaroo and I'll probably get my ass kicked. And I'll respectfully ask them, I'm like, hey, do me a favor. Record me fighting a kangaroo when I'm drunk or high to see how that goes.
No, I want to see Mark Fagan fight a kangaroo.
I want to see that fucker fight a dolphin.
That would be hilarious, you know. Mark, come on, you son bitch. Poof.
He'll probably get molested by the dolphin and love it.
I still think that Mark needs to get Roger a Roger cam. That would be so cool because Roger's low to the ground and Mark's higher up, and you got the two different viewpoints on the cameras, and you can cut that video and really do some great work with it.
You know, like the fleshlight comment Devin made earlier, Mark needs to get Roger a doggy fleshlight and just throw it out like a disposable.
Exactly. I think Six Pack Kid finally fell asleep.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Charlotte even hopped off as well.
Yep.
Ugh. So, Devin, how are you doing, good sir?
Tired. So,
Hey, 'cause I know you were hungover yesterday.
oh, was that yesterday? Wow, I forgot.
Yeah, 'cause you came in the other night fucking drunk off your ass off a fucking Bud Light.
Oh, yeah, I've been in that situation before, you know. But you start looking at life itself sucks. So you got to make the best of life while you can.
You
Because
know,
it's a tough world out there, and you just got to muddle through and get along. And having a beer every once in a while is not a bad idea.
yeah, you know, I thank God every day for good friends like you gentlemen that's on the panel, like Cheryl, like Nick.
Right, right.
You know, I think literally thank God every day for good people in my life like that. You know, because if it wasn't for good people like you guys, you know, I can be honest with you, my life would fucking suck donkey dick. Especially when Devin would randomly just joke with me about going to take a bath or getting him or my father a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Speaking of baths, Devin, where's your bath at, you son of a bitch?
I took mine this morning.
He's already fucking 20 steps ahead of me.
Hey, I'm surprised we didn't see Mark Fagan on here today. He's not in chat, so he must have went through some rough weather over there.
Yeah, his power's probably out.
Well, yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, Devin, did you see that last night?
Yep.
Fucking, his power went out because of a fucking storm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like me yesterday. It started raining, getting real windy. I said, "Oh, the hell with it." I drilled through half of the 8 inches of concrete, but I hit a metal plate in the wall. I can't run my damn antenna outside so I can get 5G in the apartment. It works good if I test it that way, but I just got to get the damn cable through the wall.
Right.
And it's just not working. You know, I'm still riding over Xfinity's Wi-Fi, and it's not the greatest, but I'm using their hotspot, the Wi-Fi hotspot that they offer. It's $10 a month, but I would rather have full-time internet over 5G, you know. But I can't put an antenna out there if I can't get the damn cable through the wall.
Right.
The way they built this apartment building, it's like a Faraday cage here.
Oh
Nothing's
yeah.
getting through. You can have a atomic explosion outside, and I would never receive any radiation or anything. It's all concrete and metal.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying to look for a product that I can do like a suction cup on my sliding glass door and try to transfer the signal through there through the glass. I'm sure somebody makes something out there.
Oh yeah.
But I definitely need to get that just for cell service. Because right now I make all my calls over the Wi-Fi, and
Right.
that's not the clearest sound. So I'm working on it. But either way you look at it, it's always a challenge, because a lot of these buildings that they built were done in the 70s, and they use different materials, unlike they do today. Everything's cheaply done today, so you can get a signal. But these older buildings, this was, I think, 1976 it was built, and it's got a lot of metal and concrete. So you're never going to get any signal through, no matter which way you look at it.
Oh yeah. But for those who haven't done it already on the YouTube aspects, I did, like I was telling Brian, I did, and like I told Devin, I did start a Twitch channel. So if you guys want, go follow me on
Yep.
Twitch too.
Right.
Because when I'm not with Brian and Devin on my channel every Friday, I am going to be on Twitch on a daily consecutive basis,
Yeah.
live streaming there. Come see the CVS show every single Friday when Devin's ready to do a show.
Yep.
Just go subscribe to his channel.
Yeah. Everybody subscribe to both channels because that's how we keep the vape community growing in the world. Whether
Exactly.
you're in the UK, Romania, or South America,
No matter where
doesn't
you
matter.
are.
Hey, we all help each other here. We're all human beings. We're all looking out for each other.
Oh yeah.
So, I see my camera looks pretty good today. Got my
Yeah,
reading
it
glasses
does.
on, looking a lot better. I got full signal strength on the Wi-Fi today, so that's a good thing. I wonder if Nathan knows if there's any really beautiful Romanian women.
He probably does.
No doubt.
Whoever's watching on Twitch and Rumble, so feel free to chat and everything. There's that son of a bitch.
There's Mr. Vapid Fagan. This is a vape show, sir.
Devin, can you do me a favor? Move your other celebrity father, Mr. Mark Fagan. He's talking so much shit. Mark, you son of a bitch! I texted you, bastard.
Well, it's nice to see Mark still alive with all the storms and all that going on. At least he survived those. Nothing major.
I still don't know if he has power or not.
Yep. Oh, you got to remember, he was probably out in the cornfield clicking his heels together, going, Annie M, it's a twister.
He was probably sitting there offering Roger as a sacrifice.
Oh, I tell you what, I mean, just anybody going through them wild storms like that, I feel sorry for them. It's just not something I'd want to endure. It's
Brother,
just,
you know about that.
yeah, because you're out in the storm. You may not receive any damage, but you could also become the victim of a very, very bad accident.
I was having sex with the mailman.
Mailman or mail lady?
It was probably his sex blow up doll.
Or were you watching Roger do it?
Roger was probably pissing on him.
Roger needs a Roger cam. I don't care what Mark says. He needs a Roger cam. That would be so cool.
Mark, you better come on if you on this stream, you son of a bitch.
Oh, he'll be on in a minute. Trust me. He said, nope. Now, is there an excuse that Mr. Fagan is given why he can't come on? I'll bet he's naked. Oh, man.
He's probably got his 3-inch pecker out trying to play with himself.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because Cheryl asked if the mailman liked it. He said nope.
Oh, here we go.
So, Mr. Fagan, get your ass on here.
He's going to tell you no one way or the other.
Tell Dylan to go fuck himself, Mark.
Devin Jeffrey.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, you just told him to go tell me to go fuck myself, you ass.
It's a damn lie. It was Newman from Seinfeld.
Oh, man. You know, the sad part is there are some people that act like Newman out there. That's the weird part.
Oh, that was funny shit.
What you looking up, Devin?
Just sent some stuff up on my computer and stuff. So.
Oh, okay.
Don't let him fool you. It was all porn based.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for that Jay Hayes porno video.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Hippie actually sent that to me one day because he kept talking about it. And the next thing I know, he fucking sends it to me. I was like, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, that's something I don't want to see myself.
Because apparently it's all over freaking video, wherever it's posted.
Well, my biggest problem with Mr. Jay Hayes is I believe you're going to see all of his videos come back online for the vape videos. I think all he did was make them private.
No, he actually
he
deleted all of them.
I don't think he deleted them. I think he just made them private.
No, because he would have actually had a selection of on his playlist that said private.
Well, not really. There's a way to hide them on YouTube without doing that. But the problem with him is he just did another video trying to navigate around the whole situation. So my guess is he was doing that next video to cause drama.
Yeah.
Because he likes drama.
Who doesn't like fucking drama?
I don't know. I like to skip drama, but you're talking to a guy that the big Showtime people that do movies and that they use my name without my permission, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it.
Right.
And I talked to several lawyers; they don't even want to touch it. but at the same time, it's caused me a lot of aggravation.
Right. Everything's, with everything that's been going on, even in the vape community, it's caused everyone a fucking loads of fucking drama and headache and stress.
Yeah, and drama is something I don't like. Some people live on drama. I don't. I don't like that. I'm a very
Right.
laid back person. I've seen too much bad things happen in the world.
Right. And look at it this way: some of us on this panel, actually no, not some of us. With the three of us on this panel, we've been vaping for what? Brian, how long have you been vaping for?
That's 12 years now, maybe
So,
13.
so that's 16, 17 years in total. Because with me, Devin, how long were you vaping for?
Since 2015.
So you've been vaping for 10 years. So 26, 27 years in total with the three of us on this panel right now. There shouldn't be any, issues,
Right, right.
but with and like I was telling Raw, Chuck, and everybody else, with these idiotic kids who are younger than us, they, they were vaping on fucking weed cartridges that had fucking vitamin E acetate in it that they're getting from like
Yeah,
Amazon and fucking eBay and shit like that.
right.
That's why, and what they don't realize is, and they're classifying weed vapes as the same as nicotine vapes. What they don't realize is weed vapes and nicotine vapes are completely and utterly different.
Yeah,
And what they don't realize is the fact that all these kids that are buying the vitamin E acetate vapes, they don't know if that shit's getting laced with fentanyl or whatever.
right.
And yeah, that's what's causing these kids to get into the hospital. And that's why nowadays they're still lying on the vape community.
Well,
By
that brings up a point we were talking before, about the weed. If you go get medical marijuana or you go to a dispensary and buy it, it's going to be clean. But
right,
the street weed that's being sold out there, that's the stuff you got to watch out for, because you don't know who's laced it with whatever.
exactly. That's why whenever I get my weed, I always go to the vape shops itself
Yeah,
because of the simple fact that I know where it's coming from. Some of these guys are actually getting their shit from like California and shit like that, and
right,
they sell it over here.
right.
They get the good shit. Even one of my friends who related to my friend that passed away and everything, he gets all the good shit. Yeah, I smoked with him a couple of times. I even smoked with his mother.
Devin, what do you think?
What's up?
Panels. I 3D printed my own panels for the Pulse AIO V2. That looks pretty good with the green and the black.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll work. But you're right. You're right, Dylan. I mean, it's just you don't know what's out in the world. So
No,
you got to walk around on this earth with your head on a swivel, because you don't know who's behind you. You don't know who's to your right, to your left. I mean, look at me. I was driving on a highway once, and I had three vehicles try to box me in. They tried to put a bullet in my face, and they were no doubt dirty law enforcement that were under investigation for organized crime activities.
yep.
And I had the FBI tell me that. It's like, okay, I hope you get these guys. There was no reason for that, though.
And that's why I'm good friends with an FBI agent who used to be a detective
Yeah,
out here in Jersey and everything. The guy and his wife has known me all my entire life because his wife
right.
was friends with my mother before she passed.
Yeah,
Straight through from kindergarten all the way up until when my mother passed. You know, so basically, if I need anything, I can always call his wife. Like, listen, I need to talk to your husband right now.
yeah.
Shit's not going down good. I need him to do me a favor, and he'll literally fucking do it.
Well, and it's like in my situation, I even got Department of Justice people fired for harassing me. And it's like, There was no call for the whole situation. I just happened to be a witness to a very big event, and somebody was stealing classified information and tried to pin it on me. And the FBI finally believed me when I said, "That's not my signature. You better check the cyanide sheets, buddy." I was right.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that was doing it got 9.5 years. So,
Right.
just it's stupidity. That's
Oh, it
just
really
pure
is.
stupidity. If you're going to do that type of crap, you're going to expect to get busted.
Oh, yeah.
I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Had a few too many drinks with a congressman and a convicted lobbyist, and Dick Cheney's friend and my friend. He ended up in the Chesapeake Bay with a shotgun blast to the head. And I get shot in on a highway. So what's that tell you? The world's a really, really screwed up place.
Yep.
You know.
But at the end of the day, if this whole situation with the world being such a fucked up place, if we can't get on top of what we got to get done, and on top of these countries get, reciprocate the same energy that we're about to give out, then there's really no reason why all of us, the United States, China, Russia, everything else is, in communication.
Yeah.
There should be no reason for it at all.
Right.
And it's, safe to say it's, really, really, really sad at this point.
Yep. Well, it's like, you see all these news stories every day about this and that, this and that. I don't believe half of them,
Yeah, neither do I.
because those people are in business to make money as a news organization. And when it becomes a news organization becomes a tabloid and gives you
Right.
fake stories, they're no longer a news organization to me. They're just scrounging for stories. It doesn't matter which one they're going to get a hold of, but they're just scrounging around for stories.
Oh, 100%.
It's like, there's too much gossip going on in the world. There's too much people saying, well, this person said that, this person did that. And you got to watch, because I've even had people tell the FBI that I was involved with drugs. And it's like, that's the furthest thing from the earth that I can think of being involved with.
Oh, you're not
You know,
wrong about that, brother.
I mean, they're getting busted for cocaine trafficking and that. Man, leave me out of it, because I don't even know you people. That's
Oh, for
ridiculous.
real. But anyways, everybody, I think it's around that time.
Yep.
So next week, tune in the same time, 2 o'clock, and everything else. Brian and I will probably go a little bit longer than what we already did. Devin may be on. I don't know what his plans are for next week. I'm trying to get Mark back on the fucking show again like that, and that way he's not being a Pollock. I'm gonna try to get. I know next week. Vaping, nah. Joff Vapes is coming on next week,
There you go.
so stay tuned. Like I said, same time, 7 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock Brian's time, 6 o'clock. No, I'm fucking retarded with times. 2 o'clock mine and Brian's time, 1 o'clock Devin's time. Stay tuned to that. Hey man, we're out.
Bye, baby.
Later, gentlemen.